Be me. 32F, working corporate comms, married to Owen, 33M, been together since college. Married for 5 years, he's a good guy I guess, works in IT, loves sci-fi movies and assembling tiny plastic models of spaceships. We have a nice 2-bedroom apartment, 2 cats, a shared Netflix account, the perfect picture of millennial domesticity. But something's been off. Not off with him, off with the whole dynamic. Spent the last few years getting really into feminist theory online. Not the pop culture girl boss stuff, the real stuff. Started on Twitter, found some Substacks, then got into a few private Discord servers. It was like putting on glasses for the first time. Suddenly I could see all the invisible structures, the subtle power plays, the patriarchy woven into the fabric of my own life. It changes you. Started noticing all the little things with Owen. The way he'd ask, "Hey, what's for dinner?" instead of just looking in the fridge himself. Weaponized incompetence 101. The way I was always the one who remembered his mum's birthday or scheduled the vet appointments for the cats. The mental load, a classic. The way he'd leave his socks on the floor, 2 feet from the hamper. A small act of defiance, asserting his dominance over the domestic space. I try to talk to him about it. Owen, when you ask me what's for dinner, it puts the onus on me to solve a problem that's for both of us. He'd just get this confused look on his face, that specific, vacant male stare. I was just asking. I can order a pizza if you want. See, he doesn't get it. He can't see the system he's benefiting from. He thinks it's about the pizza, not the power. Our intimacy was the biggest issue. It felt transactional, like something he was entitled to after a long day. He'd finish up a few hours of playing Elden Ring, roll over, and put his hand on my leg. It felt like he was clocking in. I was just another item on his evening checklist. Check emails, brush teeth, initiate sex with wife. I would go along with it most of the time, because that's what a good wife does, right? I felt like a utility, not a partner. I brought this up in my Discord group. The women in there were brilliant. They understood immediately. Classic case of conditioned male entitlement, one said. He sees your body as a service provider for his needs. Another typed, they validated everything I was feeling. It was so refreshing to not be gaslit, to be told I wasn't crazy for feeling this way. One night, it all came to a head. Owen had a bad day at work. Some server migration went wrong. He came home, grunted a hello, threw his bag on the floor, and immediately booted up his PC. Didn't ask how my day was, didn't help with dinner. Barely spoke, just sat there with his headphones on, yelling at people I couldn't see. I made pasta, ate my portion alone while watching The Handmaid's Tale. Seemed fitting. Around 11 p.m., he finally logged off, came into the bedroom. I was reading in bed. He did his usual routine, brushed his teeth, changed into boxers, slid into bed and did the thing, the hand on the leg. Long day, he mumbled, and tried to kiss my neck, and I just snapped. Not out loud. Inside. Every article I'd read, every conversation in the Discord, it all coalesced into a single, pure thought. Words are not enough. Dialogue is not enough. He doesn't understand the theory, so I have to give him a practical demonstration. I have to disrupt the system. I rolled away from him. I'm tired, Owen. He sighed, a bit frustrated, and rolled back over. K. Night. The lack of questioning, of concern, that was all the proof I needed. He didn't care that I was tired or upset, only that his needs weren't being met. The transaction was denied. The next morning, I felt a strange sense of clarity. I went to the Discord group and announced my plan. I'm doing it. I'm going on an intimacy strike. The response was electric. Emojis of flames and clapping hands flooded the channel. Yes, Queen, reclaim your autonomy. Make him understand that your body is not a public utility. I felt like a revolutionary. I was taking a stand, not just for me, but for all women who felt like service providers in their own homes. This wasn't a petty marital squabble. This was praxis. Week 1. The first few days were easy. Owen would try his usual moves, a hand on my back as I did dishes, a kiss on the shoulder. I'd gently pull away, give him a polite but firm, not right now. He was confused, but he's not the confrontational type. He just assumed I was stressed from work or on my period. Classic male thinking, always a simple biological or emotional reason, never a complex ideological one. By day 5, he tried to talk about it. Is everything okay? You've been distant. This was it, my chance to explain. I'm fine, Owen. I'm just recalibrating some things in our relationship. Recalibrating? What does that mean? Is this about the socks? I've been putting them in the hamper. He was trying, I'll give him that, but he was trying to solve the symptom, not the disease. It's about the expectation, Owen. The unspoken assumption that my body is always available to you. I'm challenging that assumption. He just stared at me blankly. I don't assume that. I love you. I want to be close to you. Is sex the only way you know how to be close? I countered. Checkmate. He had no answer for that. He just mumbled, no, of course not, and retreated to his computer. I logged into the Discord and reported the conversation verbatim. The praise was intoxicating. You have him on the ropes, Riley. Stay strong. I felt so powerful. Week 3. He'd stopped trying altogether. No more casual touches, no more attempts at night. He was starting to build a wall, but I knew it was just a defense mechanism, a classic male response to having his privilege challenged. He was sulking. He started spending more time in his nerd cave, as he called it. I'd hear him laughing on Discord with his gaming friends late into the night. Fine by me. Let him retreat to his boys' club. Meanwhile, I was having deep, meaningful conversations with the women in my Discord. We talked about Foucault, bell hooks, the nature of emotional labor. My mind felt sharp, alive. I was doing something important. The nights got quiet. We'd go to bed at different times. I'd be reading my book. He'd slip into bed an hour later, careful not to touch me, and immediately face the other way. The space between us and the queen-sized bed felt like a mile-wide canyon. This is good, I told myself. This is him learning, processing. This is what it feels like to deconstruct a patriarchal norm in real time. It's not supposed to be comfortable. Month 2. Things started to shift in ways I hadn't expected. He wasn't just sulking anymore. He was adapting. He started waking up early and going to the gym before work. He stopped asking what's for dinner and just started making his own food, usually some weird bachelor meal of chicken breast and rice he'd prepped on a Sunday. Our finances were separate, so there was no issue there. He was becoming more self-sufficient. I told the Discord group, my strike is working. He's finally learning to be a functional adult. They cheered me on. See, when you remove the incentive sex, they are forced to develop basic life skills. But it didn't feel like a victory. Our apartment, once a shared home, now felt like a duplex. We had our designated zones, our designated routines. We communicated through sticky notes on the fridge, need to buy cat food, have a late meeting on Thursday. The only time we spoke was about logistics. There was no more, how was your day? He didn't ask, and I realized I had stopped asking him too. His life was becoming a black box to me. I'd see him smiling at his phone and feel a pang of something. Not jealousy, I told myself. Curiosity. I was just observing the subject of my experiment. One Saturday, I was walking past his office and heard him on a voice call. No, dude, it's just quiet. I don't know. It's like living with a roommate you don't really know. A pause. I tried talking to her, man. I get these weird, textbook answers. It's like she's speaking a different language. My heart pounded in my chest. I backed away from the door. Textbook answer? A different language? He was twisting my words, painting me as the unreasonable one. I ran to my laptop, my fingers flying across the keyboard as I typed into the Discord. He's portraying me as the villain to his friends. He's trying to isolate me and frame me as crazy. The support was immediate and fierce. Classic Darvo. Deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. He can't handle a woman with agency, so he's trying to discredit you. Their words were a balm on my wounded pride. They were right. He was the one in the wrong. I had to hold the line. Month 4. The gym was making a noticeable difference. Owen had always been a little soft around the middle. Huggable, as I used to call it. Now he was leaner, more defined. He bought new clothes, fitted shirts instead of his old nerdy graphic tees. He got a new haircut. He seemed to radiate a new kind of energy. It wasn't for me. I knew that. It was for him. One night he came home late from drinks with some guys from the gym. He was buzzed and happy, smelled faintly of beer and someone else's perfume. My stomach clenched. It was probably just a friendly hug, I reasoned. People hug each other, but the thought burrowed into my mind and stayed there. The silence in the apartment was no longer peaceful, it was deafening. I started to miss the dumb things. I missed him yelling at the TV during a football game. I missed him showing me a meme that I pretended wasn't funny, but secretly was. I missed the weight of his arm around me while we watched a movie, even if the movie was some dumb shit with aliens and explosions. I found myself rereading our old text messages from years ago, the stupid jokes, the I love yous, the plans we made. It felt like reading about two different people, strangers. I tried to drop hints that I was ready to talk. "That new shirt looks really nice on you," I said one morning. "Thanks," he said, not even looking up from his phone as he tied his shoes. No follow-up, no what do you think, just a closed door. The power dynamic had completely inverted. In the beginning, I was the one with all the power, the one who could grant or withhold. Now, I had nothing he wanted. He had built a new life, a new routine, without me in it. He had recalibrated, just like I'd asked. Month 6. The breaking point. It was a Friday night. He'd told me he was going to a friend's birthday party. I stayed home, ordered sushi for one, and scrolled through social media. I opened Instagram, and there it was, a picture posted by someone I didn't know, one of his new gym friends. A group photo from the party. Owen was in the middle, smiling wider than I'd seen him smile in months. His arm was around a woman's waist, not a casual, friendly group photo arm drape. It was firm, possessive. Her name was Jessica. Her profile was public. She was a fitness trainer. Tons of pics of her lifting weights, hiking, laughing. She was bright and sunny and everything I wasn't. And in the picture, she was leaning into Owen, her head on his shoulder, looking up at him like he was the only person in the room. I couldn't breathe. The world went fuzzy at the edges. This wasn't supposed to happen. The experiment was about him learning to appreciate me, to do more emotional labor, to value me beyond my body. It wasn't supposed to be about him replacing me, my praxis, my protest. It was all just a monumental fuck-up. I wasn't a revolutionary. I was just a fool who had pushed her husband into another woman's arms. I started to spiral. I went to my Discord, my hands shaking so badly I could barely type. I posted the picture. Look what he's done. I waited for the outrage, the support, the "he's a classic narcissist" comments. But the response was muted. "Wow, that's really messed up," one person wrote. "Did you guys ever actually set any rules for this strike?" another asked. "Rules? What rule? I mean, you've been withholding all intimacy for half a year, Riley. It's awful, but it's not shocking. Shocking, not shocking. These were my friends, my intellectual comrades, and they were saying this was my fault? Men have needs," another one typed, "men have needs in this server." I felt a profound sense of betrayal, of utter loneliness. My whole support system was crumbling beneath me. They weren't my friends, they were just a chorus, an audience, and the show was over. He came home around 2 a.m. I was sitting on the couch in the dark, the empty sushi containers on the coffee table. The screen of my phone was dark, but the Instagram photo was burned into my mind. He flicked on the light, startled to see me. "Riley, what are you doing up?" He looked tired, but happy. He was still wearing the new shirt. "Who is she, Owen?" My voice was quiet, raspy. The happy glow on his face vanished. He knew immediately. "Look, Riley, who is she?" I repeated, my voice getting louder. "Her name is Jess," he said, resigned. He sat down in the armchair across from me, creating a space between us. "It's not what you think. Nothing has happened. Your arm was around her waist. She was looking at you. We were drunk. It was a picture. People are friendly. Don't lie to me. Not after all this." He sighed, a deep, weary sigh that seemed to come from the very bottom of his soul. "Okay, nothing has happened. But I wanted it to." The honesty was worse than a lie. It was a punch to the gut. "I wanted it to," he repeated, looking at me directly. His eyes weren't angry, just empty. "I spend my evenings with my friends, and I feel more connected to them than I do to the woman I share a bed with. I go to the gym and I talk to people and we laugh and it feels normal. Then I come home and it's this silent cold war that I don't even understand the rules to. It was a protest, I whispered, the word tasting like ash in my mouth. It was to make you see. See what? He cut me off, his voice rising for the first time. To see what, Riley? That our marriage was a series of patriarchal microaggressions? I read your laptop. It was open one day. I saw your Discord chats. My blood ran cold. You called me your project. You and your friends analyzed my every move like I was a rat in a cage. Did you ever once think about how that would feel? To find out your wife, the person you love, sees you as a political statement? I had nothing to say. Every clever retort, every bit of theory, it all evaporated. There was just a man in front of me, his heart broken, and I was the one holding the hammer. I tried, he said, his voice dropping again. God, I tried. I asked you what was wrong. I tried to get close to you. All I got back were lectures, buzzwords. You weren't talking to me, Riley. You were reciting from a textbook. Weaponized incompetence, emotional labor. You wanted me to do more chores, to be more considerate. You could have just said, Owen, you're being a slob, please help me more. We could have talked about it, like people, like a team. He stood up. But you didn't want a team. You wanted a convert. You wanted me to concede that I was fundamentally broken, that our entire relationship was a problem only your ideology could solve, and you decided the best way to do that was to just cut me off, to treat me like I wasn't human. Tears were streaming down my face now. I'm sorry, I sobbed. Owen, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I miss you. I miss us. I stood up, tried to go to him, to hold him. Let's just go back, I pleaded. We can fix this. I'll stop. I'll delete the Discord. We can be like we were. I reached for his hand, but he pulled it away. That small movement was the most violent thing he had ever done. It shattered what was left of me. Go back to what? He asked, his voice chillingly calm. To the way we were before? I don't think that person exists anymore, Riley. You were so busy trying to win, so busy proving your point, you never stopped to think about what you were losing. He looked at me, and for the first time, I felt like he could truly see me. Not as a wife, not as a partner, but as a stranger. A sad, misguided woman who had torched her own life, for a round of applause from a cheering section of anonymous avatars online. I'm tired of the silence, Riley, he said. I'm tired of the experiment. This isn't a home anymore. It's a laboratory, and I'm done being the specimen. What are you saying? I whispered, even though I already knew. I'm saying I'm done. I'm going to sleep on the couch. I'll start looking for a new place tomorrow. He walked out of the living room, not to our bedroom, but to the linen closet. I heard him pull out the spare pillow and a blanket. I just stood there, frozen, in the middle of the room. The point was proven. I had successfully deconstructed the patriarchal expectation of intimacy in my marriage. The board was clear. The structures were dismantled, and I was completely, utterly alone. That was 3 months ago. Owen moved out 2 weeks after that night. The whole process was brutally efficient and polite, like two business partners dissolving a company. He took his clothes, his computer, his spaceship models, and his cat. I kept the other cat. She hides from me most of the time. He left the couch and the bed. I live here now, in the quiet. The silence I once thought was a tool of empowerment is now my constant companion. It's a physical presence. It sits next to me on the couch. It lies beside me in the vast empty space in my bed. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and reach over to his side, my hand finding only cold sheets. It's a reflex I can't seem to unlearn. I deleted my Discord account. I deleted Twitter. I tried to go back and read the feminist theory books, the ones that had felt so enlightening. The words are just black marks on a page now. They're hollow, meaningless. They offer no explanation for the profound ache in my chest. They can't teach you how to fill a quiet apartment with anything other than regret. I saw Owen's Instagram last week. Stupid, I know. He and Jessica are official now. There was a picture of them hiking somewhere beautiful. He was carrying a backpack, and she was laughing. They looked happy. He looked light, free from the weight of my recalibration, my praxis, my fucking point. So here I am, 32, soon to be divorced, living in a too expensive apartment that echoes with the ghost of a life I systematically dismantled. I proved my point. I proved that a woman doesn't have to be intimate with her husband. I proved it all, and now I sleep alone